Travel and Things, in association with Sun Destinations, iconic destinations with amazing experiences, present In Conversation With. I am your host, David Batsoffen, and I'm joined today all the way from the Midlands by the owners of Kululapa. That's Anton and Hazel Hartwig. Good morning to both of you. Welcome to In Conversation With.
Good morning, David.
Yes, to you.
Good morning to all the people listening.
What is the weather like down your way? I believe there was a tornado recently.
Yeah, it has, but it missed us, fortunately. We're on the escarpment, and some things can happen from above or from the bottom, and I stayed at the bottom this time.
Okay, so tell us about Kululapa. My family recently stayed with you guys, and it was an experience, to say the least. It is a unique venue in so many ways. So tell us a bit about it. Tell us how you found yourselves there. It's not quite Alaskan bush people or building off grid, but it's tending in that direction.
Well, we are into adventure on this side, and the mothering side is also very, very valid.
Right.
And it's such a stunning indigenous forest that we live in.
How?
So people come.
I was going to say, how long have you guys lived there?
Oh,
we've been here about 12 or so years, about 25 years at Bekezela, which is 2 kilometers away, 4.5 years at Lebrie. So about 30 years altogether in the area.
All in indigenous forest and camping and sit around a campfire, that sort of thing, or just people coming to chill out, get away from the city and the rush.
So when you say indigenous forest, you may see on your screen now, this is probably the least rickety bridge I've ever walked across. And I stopped to admire it. Did you build this, Anton?
Yeah, I mean, everything, you sprinkle a bit of muti on it and it goes, like trees.
We had 7 young guys come and stay here, and that's what they built. We called them the Black Hand Band because they had that black stuff that you put all over when you are protecting the wood.
Creosote.
And yeah, so it was a group of young guys who put it together, and we've just maintained it through the years.
Well done
Anton,
to you.
the we is the royal.
Well done to you, because I stopped very cleverly. There's a very wide plank in the middle of that bridge, so you can stand without sort of feeling nervous or the fact that you're going to fall off. And then I had a look at the structure underneath, and my goodness me, that was put together properly. It really and truly was. Although, that being said, Anton, you do have one of those suspension bridges on the property if people do want to run across it and see if they can stay upright.
Yeah, it's wobbly, it really rickets. It has a wave like a glass pot, But there are other bridges like a commando rope across, which hasn't got anything to hold on. You have to stand and hang on and help each other, and then you fall off into the river, and there's a mud fight going on.
I'm glad I'm a photographer. Now, somebody has to record these things, and it's usually me. This is a road that the family and I came to know very well. This is the road from the car park down to Birdsong, and to your house, and to the Lapa. It's easy to get to your place because it's all downhill. It's all uphill when you go back. And as I said in a recent blog that I wrote about it, I think next time, or anybody considering coming to Kululapa, must pack lightly, so that they can carry everything in one go. It's as simple as that. less is more when it comes to you guys. But that being said, there is a track that if people want to drive in, if they have proper 4x4 and the proper driving skills, you can get closer to the accommodation, can't you?
Yeah.
Yes and no.
If it rains, like it does sometimes here, then you can get trapped.
Right.
Because it's into the jungle, but you can always walk in and out.
Yeah. And listen, it was great.
Seriously, we had a few months back, because of the rain the last 2 years, we had Anton stuck with one vehicle on one road out and another vehicle on the other road out. And 2 weeks later, we finally had dry enough weather to get out. So if you are adventurous enough and are happy to stay longer until your car can get out, yes. But we do recommend the park and walk.
And don't forget anything in the car. It's as simple as that, because otherwise you're up and down like a monkey up a tree.
Yes.
Now,
but the most spectacular walk through a forest that you could find. So there you go.
Indeed. Look, it's not a hectic walk. You can take it slowly. I think in the beginning, I thought this was a race. You know, you had to see how quickly you could get up and down with how much you could carry. And then I realized, actually, I can stop for as long as I like and just look at the scenery. There's no rush to get down or up, for that matter.
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as you leave your car, you're into the jungle already.
You are indeed.
If you listen to the birds, and what sound is that and that, and you know, it's flowers, indigenous flowers, everything happens at the first step already.
And you should go back to what we used to do with the children on program camps. Look for the smallest and the biggest flower, for all the colors that you can find in the forest. You know, give yourself goals. You know, how many butterfly sorts are there? Well, how many bird sounds do you hear? Then the whole journey takes on a different feel.
It does indeed. Now, this was my first view of Birdsong, and I thought, my goodness me, this is a huge building. But this particular image belies the size of that cottage, because it is, in fact, a single-story dwelling with just a bedroom, a second bedroom that we named the Hobbit room on top of that. But it's glorious when you spot it for the first time through the ferns and through all the foliage.
Well, that's Rosie's function and spectacular coziness, eh?
It is indeed.
Yeah.
You were going to say, you were going to add something?
So the cottage started out as part of, when we were doing program camping, it was a cave, just a wattle and door, upstairs, downstairs. You had to climb onto a upper ladder to get upstairs with the kids. No windows, nothing. It was just 5 children and a young person out there doing camping. And this was one of their stops. And then my daughter and husband needed a place that they could return to when they were coming back from places. So it then developed into what you saw. And they're not here now, so they said we could use it for self-catering.
Fair enough, and that's exactly what we did. This is the other view. This is the view when you come around the foliage and what you see for the first time. What we saw earlier was that section there, peering out through the ferns. This is the main living area. There's a lounge there. There is an outdoor shower that I will talk about in a moment, because I did enjoy that. And then I jokingly referred to this as the garden. And Anton said, no, because the garden is not that. The garden is the entire valley in front of you, which it is.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it is just a space, a green space that you can chill out and enjoy nature.
I very much, in developing the self-catering, I very much wanted a place where people who love the indigenous and birds and butterflies, was my love, could come, and then there was a place to stay. So the place to stay is not the important thing. What you're going to do while you're here is what this is about.
Okay.
So for me, that's the kind of people that I want to have come, who want to come and they've got their hiking boots on, or they just want to sit outside where they can hear everything with a good book or in front of the fire and chill and just find who they are again. So that was my part.
Indeed. Now, under the Hobbit room is this bedroom, which was very comfortable, I have to say. And it was very difficult getting out from under these sheets and blankets in the early morning when the, pardon me, mist was still in the valley.
Yeah, it can get misty. That's very valid.
Yeah.
So misty that you have to take a stick and poke it, you know. We're on the escarpment. Yeah.
Where's everything
jungle
gone?
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
And then this is the Hobbit room.
And 4 weathers in one day.
Yeah, indeed. And then this is upstairs in the Hobbit room. But once you get through the doorway, the room is actually, in fact, bigger than normal. It has a very high ceiling, and it's easy to move around it. It's just getting through the doorway that if you're sort of 6'6", which I'm not, luckily, it might be a bit of a problem. Might be a hands and knees entrance.
All on your hands and knees.
That's all.
Desperate enough to get in there.
It's part of the fun, and the views out of the windows. I don't know if the viewers can see, but the views out of all these windows are really spectacular. At the end of the day, you've got greenery wherever you look.
Yeah. And sounds that you never knew existed. You know, I'm from Bloemfontein, Karoo, that sort of so rock rabbits, dassies I know about. But the tree dassie that we never knew, it makes an awesome sound, you know.
Right.
And then really like a child. And if you sit around a campfire with a couple of guys and in the forest or somewhere out looking at the stars, and this thing, what's that? You know, it sounds like somebody being murdered. It's them. You have
like
to
Anton, the first time I heard a bush baby, I was in KZN, and I knew that there were no children in the camp. I was, in fact, the only person at the lodge at that stage. And I was woken by the screaming in the middle of the night. I got the fright of my life. And then I realized that it was a bush baby. And they sound like a child screaming.
Yeah, it's similar to, there are bush babies, but they're very scarce.
Okay.
But these guys are, they are cute. And we had one that you walk up to the car park and she comes out just with a little nose, and then, you know, so it's so much to explore and to realize that there's life around, you know.
Yeah. Now, this was the heart of the accommodation, and this served us really well in the evenings. When the lights went out, and that was normally because of load shedding, not because there was no electricity. And for my international viewers, load shedding here in South Africa just means that at various times, at arbitrary times sometimes during the day and night here in South Africa, our national electricity supplier turns off the electricity so that they can save it. I still don't know how you save electricity, if you put it in a box or in a bottle or what you do with it, but to turn it off, so that you can't use it, so that they can save it. They have a product, they don't want you to use it, and when you do use it, they charge you a lot of money. But anyway, the fire was glorious. There is so much wood. I did try chopping wood because there was a pile outside. There we go. And it's not as simple as it looks. I managed to split one log, and then I gave up, while my child stood and clapped next to me, going, "Well done, Dad."
Oh, you townies, or what? No.
Well, what can I say, Anton? I did say to her for my birthday I'd wanted a chainsaw, and she goes, "Why, Dad? You have no idea what you're going to do with it. You'll probably cut yourself in half." Anyway, luckily there was plenty of wood pre-chopped when we got back after our days out in the Midlands, and there was kindling. And I did eventually remembered the fire starters, Hazel, so that on our last night it was a little easier to get the fire going.
There you go. Can I add into, in the building, in the house, sometimes you will have extra people staying in the form of tiny animals. Like upstairs at the moment, we have some bats. So if you know it's bats and you hear this, sound,
Yeah.
you don't think that you're going to be eaten alive by mice.
Fair
and
enough.
at times we have a gerbil who just makes the most amazing sound.
Yeah.
So you never quite know what's going to be there because you're in the real forest.
You are indeed. Yeah, this is not one of those places like in the Northwest that were built out of nothing and they build a backstory around it. We won't mention Sun City by name. But
and the tree dassie is a hyrax for those who are overseas and don't know what a dassie is.
Now, this was extremely useful. This kettle needed a medal for the amount of work it did. And again, if there was no electricity, your oven is gas. So there was gas constantly. And there were numerous cups of tea, coffee, and even vegan hot chocolate to go with a muffin that I know you've got them in front of you, so you can eat while you talk.
Yes.
These are Hazel's 28-day muffins. They were her mom's recipe, I believe, and I'm not allowed to tell you what the recipe is on pain of serious retribution. So we'll just Hazel and Anton can eat those. I'll remember what it tasted like. But as I say, the kettle put in a lot of hard work. That's the view that Anton was talking about.
Remember, you'll have the vegan hot chocolate if that's what you bring.
Yeah.
Because it's self-catering.
Indeed.
You will have amazing wine if that's what you bring.
Yeah, you bring it, you can drink it. If you didn't bring it, well, sorry for you, as they say in the classics.
Yeah.
This is the view that Anton alluded to a little earlier when you're sitting outside the house, although there is a little mowed area, so you don't have to sort of beat a path to Hazel and Anton's door through this. But this is the sort of view you wake up to in the morning. And it's just so spectacular. Again, Anton, you and I were talking about the mist, which tends to cover that entire area there in the early morning. So you see nothing except what's in the foreground, which is beautiful.
Yeah. And it can change like that, you know.
It does indeed. The other thing I noticed were the smells from these bushes. Smell is the wrong word because smell conjures up all sorts of nasty whiffs.
The fragrance
and the aroma from these bushes is spectacular. It really is. And they assail you, specifically from the Birdsong sign to Birdsong. There's a very strong aroma of, I have no idea what, but I just used to stop there in awe and just drink in the view and take in the smells as well.
Yeah, if you start to hear the bird songs, like Solomon said, you know, go into the forest and listen until you hear.
Yeah.
And the smells, the sounds, the views, the fireflies, you know, they're silent on a dark and misty night. Then I've had the privilege of taking my granddaughter on my shoulder, and we'll go and look at the fireflies.
That so special.
And you want to, and they just, you can't take them because they switch off, you know, just beautiful. And the more you see, the more you look, and it's around a campfire.
That's exactly it. Now, this decrepit thing is also another, it may look decrepit, but it's not. This also put in a lot of hard work. This is a donkey boiler, and this is what makes hot water for the outdoor shower. And this hot water is instantaneous. Once this boiler's up to speed, and you step under that shower, you know that it washes everything away. It's a great experience for people who've never done this.
Yeah, we don't need Eskom actually, but don't tell them because we do have a backup for all the, you know, the modern gadgets and stuff.
Oh, look at that picture.
Yeah.
Now, I did not. This was not part of the food offering that we brought in. This is part of your Nguni herd, and this was one of the cows that came to sort of have a look at me early one morning.
Yeah.
The others just couldn't be bothered. They sort of looked and moved on. But this How now, brown cow, as they say. I don't know what it was thinking, but it stopped long enough for me to take a picture.
Our neighbors' cows.
Yeah.
We've got a Zulu farmer next door, upstream, and in wintertime, their grass runs out. And so the grass is picked up through our summer, and they literally the height of a big nguni. So he comes and he grazes it down for a day or 2 or 3 or 5, and then he goes back. So we get cow poo, and that is good for the grass, and it's good for him as well. So there's cooperation in the area.
That's wonderful. Another bridge on the property, and that led us to this waterfall, which is one of the smaller waterfalls, because I believe that on the property you alluded earlier, Anton, to adventure stuff. And I know that there is a waterfall that you can jump off if you're so desirous. Again, I had to take photographs. We didn't get that far because we were pressed for time. But we did get to sit a while at this particular one.
Yeah. Now there's adventure. The further you go, the more adventure. Really, there is amazing stuff. One chap went off with his twins, little guys, and they got lost. And finally, they phoned me to say, "Please, we lost.
Where are we?
We must find." Yeah, and I said, "What is there?" And they said, "No, there's sugarcane." I said, "Sugarcane, that's 5 kilometers from here." You are lost. Just keep going to the farmyard. I'll come and fetch you guys. Wait for me.
And this is the mist that we were talking about.
Yes.
Pardon me. This is a burp. This is early in the morning, and then the moment the sun comes up, of course, that all vanishes. So now let's get to the nitty-gritty. How do people find out about you? How do they book? Is there a website? Is there a Facebook page? Who's the expert, Hazel?
If you put Kululapa into Google, we are the only Kululapa in the world, I think. So it will come up. We have a web page, which is kululapa.weebly.com. Then we have our Facebook page, which is the Kululapa Facebook page. And then you can book via Safari now. If you want to, Safari now and AfriStay are the 2 places that I'm on. And the reason for choosing those places rather than some of the others is that I want people to realize that they should come and stay. That they're better places to go to if you want to. I see you mentioned in your thing doing the Midlands Meander, doing the Karkloof canopy tours, zip lines, all those things. I mean, there are lovely places in Howick and around Howick to stay if that's what you want to do.
Otherwise, you can just sit at Kululapa and read a book. It's as simple as that.
That's what I prefer, is for people to want to come park their car, and the next time they see their car is when they're driving out. Because it's not the best place to come, like the 100-kilometer run and those different things. I've actually recommended that people don't come here. I mean, you arrive to do a run, you have to get up already early enough to get to the starting place. From here, you have to get up recognizing that it might have rained. You've got to get yourself out. There's the disadvantages of some people only got the disadvantages when they came looking for a place to stay so that they could be somewhere else.
I like that. They came to Kululapa because they were looking for somewhere else to stay.
So if you want to come here to Birdsong or to the Lapa, which is our bigger place, which has about the place for 15 to 20, then come, because this is where you want to chill with friends or with your family or by yourself. Like my one friend comes every 3 months just to spend time with herself.
That's fair enough. Because listen, we all we all fall into the trap, I think, Hazel, where we give ourselves so readily to other people. We are always available electronically, via phone, via laptop. And if somebody can't get you every 2 seconds, there's panic because where is so-and-so? And sometimes now in the modern world, you just want to do that. You want to go, no, there's no Wi-Fi. There's intermittent signal at best. And I can always lie, turn my phone off and say, no, there was no signal at the end of the day. And you can just be. You know, you can eat, you can not eat. You can get out of bed. You don't have to get out of bed. You can do whatever you like. And there's nobody to knock on the door going, housekeeping, we've come to clean up, or whatever the case might be.
Nothing. No having to get out for a certain time or anything. No. And then with the internet, although I don't have internet in the rooms, I do make my office available. Excuse me, like your daughter needed to do those papers. And I'm happy to, if people don't mind coming into my office, which is my sewing room, which is you know, I'm happy to share my office with people who need to have internet.
Yeah. And as we were saying, people can switch off. They really can. It's a great, I wanted to say almost off the grid, but it's not really totally off the grid, because you have all the creature comforts. You have flushing toilets, you have a warm bed, you have electricity, you have gas. It's not like you're going to be chopping wood and having to go out and hunt your own food, like that brown cow did not end up on a braai, people. So that don't get upset. That cow will live happily a long life. Even the chickens, we didn't see the chickens, we didn't eat the chickens or the eggs. When is the best season? You mentioned, or Anton, who seems to have vanished, mentioned getting very wet and very muddy. So is winter time then the best?
So I find over Christmas is about the wettest. I find summer wetter than. For me, I think winter is the best season to come here because it doesn't rain so much. You have beautiful days most of the time, and your evenings you've got fires. For me, it's kind of like, this is the time to come. But
it is indeed, and I didn't feel that cold because I shower at night. The shower is outdoors. I showered, dried myself, changed, and then went inside, and it wasn't that chilly. It really wasn't. And inside is a fire, so you're instantly hot. And with the blue kettle doing all its hard work, there were warm beverages available.
There you go. Now I'm going to move up a little bit because the sun is starting to get me in the eye, but there we go.
There we go.
So for me, I suppose it depends what you want. If you're looking for butterflies, you've got to come February, Marchish area.
Right.
If you want birds, they right through the year, over 100 species. Sometimes you'll see the green parrot. Anton said he's heard them the last little while. I haven't seen them recently, but he heard them squawking and then looked up and saw one doing it squiggly. But we had one young guy who was looking to add 400 new species before the end of the year, and ours was one stop, and he was so over the moon because he had seen something or other. I mean, birds are birds to me. I hear the sounds and I think, oh, that's different and new. But to other people, they are a lot more. So it depends what you're looking for.
Indeed it does.
You can come stay inside with the fire for a whole weekend. You can put on your wellies and go sloshing about and
enjoy yourself.
It really depends.
Hazel, we're almost out of town. You're out of town. I'm almost out of time. Enjoy your muffins. Thank you so much to you and Anton for joining me here in conversation with this morning. People, look up Kululapa and go and stay. You will be amazed. You can thank me later. I'm always of two minds when I visit places like this. Because I'd enjoyed it so much, I want to be selfish and go, no, I want to come back. I don't want 40,000 people there. So how much do I tell and how positive am I? But I think I've nailed my colors to the mast. And I'm hoping that there will be a relatively constant stream of people coming down the path from the parking lot. Hazel, to you, to Anton, who may be just standing off to the left or right there, thanks once again. Thanks for hosting us. It was an absolute pleasure to be there. And perhaps we'll see you in butterfly season.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Bye.